Whether you're running SQL in a physical or virtualized environment, most SQL DBAs would welcome faster storage at a reasonable price. I think we can probably all agree on that. Um, Condusiv's V-locity software is designed to provide exactly that, but using the storage hardware that you already own. And it doesn't matter if you have direct attached disks, or if you're running a tiered SAN, have a tray of SSD storage, or are fortunate enough to have an all-flash array. That storage layer can be a limiting factor to your SQL database's productivity. The V-locity software reduces the amount of storage I/O traffic. Excuse me, reduces the amount of storage I/O traffic that has to go out and be processed by the disk storage layer. And it streamlines or optimizes the data which does still have to go out to the disk. The net result is that SQL can typically get more transactions completed in the same amount of time, quite simply because on average it's not having to wait so much on the storage before being able to get on with its next transaction. And V-locity can be downloaded and installed without any disruption to live SQL servers. There are no SQL code changes required, and certainly no reboots. You just simply install, and typically you'll start seeing results in just a few minutes. Now, before we take a more in-depth look at that, I would like to briefly mention that last year, the V-locity software was awarded the Microsoft SQL Server I/O Reliability Certification. That's quite a mouthful for me. This basically means that whilst providing faster storage access, V-locity didn't adversely affect the required and recommended behaviors that an I/O subsystem must provide for SQL as defined by Microsoft themselves. And Microsoft ran tests for this in Azure, their cloud platform, with SQL 2016, and they used HammerDB to generate an online transaction processing type workload. Not only was V-locity able to jump through all of the hoops necessary to achieve that certification, but it was also able to show an increase of about 30% more SQL transactions in the same amount of time. And in this test, that meant roughly 30% more orders processed. And they probably could have processed more too if they'd allowed V-locity a slightly larger RAM cache size.